Mr. President, members of the Security Council, in a statement by its official news agency on 3 December 2017, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the DPRK, announced that it had successfully conducted a sixth nuclear explosive test.
Another nuclear test by North Korea has raised global tensions.
The North Korean nuclear program is more advanced and more dangerous than ever. They now fire missiles over Japanese airspace. They now have ICBM capabilities. They now claim to have tested a hydrogen bomb. And just this morning, there are reports that the regime is preparing for yet another ICBM launch.
An emergency United Nations Security Council briefing was held in response.
We are alarmed by this dangerous provocation. The Secretary General condemns the underground nuclear test announced by the DPRK. This act is yet another serious breach of the DPRK's international obligations and undermines international nonproliferation and disarmament efforts.
United States Defense Secretary James Mattis had this to say to the press following a White House briefing.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We had a small group national security meeting today with the President and the Vice President about the latest provocation on the Korean Peninsula. We have many military options, and the President wanted to be briefed on each one of them. We made clear that we have the ability to defend ourselves and our allies, South Korea and Japan, from any attack, and our commitments among the allies are ironclad. Any threat to the United States or its territories, including Guam, or our allies, will be met with a massive military response, a response both effective and overwhelming. Kim Jong-un should take heed of the United Nations Security Council's unified voice. All members unanimously agreed on the threat North Korea poses, and they remain unanimous in their commitment to the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Because we are not looking to the total annihilation of a country, namely North Korea. But as I said, we have many options to do so. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley made these remarks at the emergency UN meeting.
War is never something the United States wants. We don't want it now. But our country's patience is not unlimited. We will defend our allies and our territory. The idea that some have suggested a so-called freeze for freeze is insulting. When a rogue regime has a nuclear weapon and an ICBM pointed at you, you do not take steps to lower your guard. No one would do that. We certainly won't. The time has come to exhaust all diplomatic means to end this crisis, and that means quickly enacting the strongest possible measures here in the UN Security Council. Only the strongest sanctions will enable us to resolve this problem through diplomacy. We have kicked the can down the road long enough. There is no more road left.
The situation again raises awareness over Hawaii's role in the Pacific Theater. At Pohakaloa Training Area here on Hawaii Island, military readiness was on display during the ongoing Exercise Bougainville 2.
On Monday, we had the fourth out of 5 LSVs, Lightspeed Vessels, come to K Pier. Kauai High Pier here on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Marine Corps videos document the unloading of heavy equipment in Kauai High for the exercise on August 7th.
Bougainville 2 in support of Victor 3-3, and we offloaded a lot of containers, some vehicles, and some ordnance.
The next week, live fire exercises at Pohakaloa prepared the 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marine Regiment for service as a forward deployed force in the Pacific.
So the squad fire, live fire range, we did a squad attack on a reinforced enemy fire team. So what we did was cover and moving up to the enemy while we had suppression from machine guns and mortarman fire. And then once we got close enough, we covered and moved up to the machine gun team in the trench and assaulted through the objective.
On August 21st, the commanding general of U.S. Marine Corps Forces Pacific, Lieutenant General David Berger, observed the progress of Exercise Bougainville 2 in person.
General Berger, the commander for U.S. Marine Forces Pacific, to come visit us here at the Pohakaloa training area. while we conduct exercise Bougainville 2. Lieutenant General Berger came out to ensure that what the future of the Marine Forces here training in the Pohakalua training area, also known as PTA. So what he wanted to do is understand what the capabilities of the training area are, and whether it comes from the ground or from the air assets. Also with the life support capabilities here on base camp. So not only was it 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines that he was visiting, he also had additional commanders come visit as well. So we had the commander for 3rd Marines come out here for the ground combat element perspective. We also had the air combat element perspective being provided by Colonel Patton, the CO from Marine Air Group 24. We also had Colonel Lionez, who is the commander for Marine Corps Base Hawaii. Great opportunity for our Marines to discuss what they understand, how things are with the training areas here, and also what the battalion is currently doing in our workup.